This episode of Roswell Conspiracies is about three vampire families trying to unite and the Alliance's attempt to stop them. The episode begins with the vampire Davos betraying another vampire lord and taking over his business. To celebrate this great victory, Davos initiates a merger with two of the biggest vampire families. The Alliance sends Nick Logan and Fitzpatrick, the latter because the hotel the vampires are meeting at is in Fitz's hometown. Fitz is distracted from the mission by an old friend, but still helps by contributing to the fight against Davos and his impersonation by Logan. The vampires quickly catch wind of Nick's treachery and try to kill him, but he manages to escape. Shalane is wounded in the process. Hannick exploits Fitz's love for his friend and kidnaps her. Fitz and Nick launch an all-out assault on Ruthven and Hannick, eventually taking out Ruthven and saving Fitz's friend. Hannick manages to escape, however, and at the end of the episode, Fitz reevaluates having close relationships with people because of his work and the Alliance. The Partnership is a great episode if you love Roswell Conspiracies' interpretation of the vampire. I still can't get over their snake-like tail mixed in with some reptilian characteristics while still feeling like a vampire. The alien species in the series aren't one note, they have internal complexity. For example, at the beginning of the episode, we see the vampires fighting amongst themselves. We already know about Hannick, but there are two other powerful vampires. If Hannick is powerful alone, just imagine how powerful he'd be if the vampires united. This foreshadows the division the aliens have with each other and how this makes them easy for the Alliance to pick off. As seen in this episode, Davos and Ruthven are captured, leaving Hannick without any allies. I think it's really cool that Nick Logan's stepfather being kidnapped by the vampires in the first episode is still a plotline the writers chose to remember 17 episodes later. It just shows the attention to detail the show has, and trust me, it gets crazier afterwards. I also like how from offhand comments that these vampires secretly control the world. Like, Hannick literally controls Silicon Valley.
Let's do that. Hannick already controls Silicon Valley, but he's interested in your aerospace holdings.
That's why that vampire wants to blow it up in episode 5. I like how vampires have unique abilities and not just super strength and speed like the standard vampire. They rely on technology and their bite transforms humans into their slaves. Surprisingly enough, this episode is all about Fitz and his romance between an old friend. Because the vampires are meeting in his hometown, we see a rare side to Fitz. He almost never cracks a joke in this episode. He's mostly serious, and when his friend is kidnapped by Hannick, he pulls a brash and reckless move to save her that Nick would probably come up with. It ends on a somewhat sad note as the friend is led to believe he's dead, and Fitz himself vows never to get close to someone at the risk of putting them in danger.
That's why Hannick chose her. No, I'm an Alliance agent. Anyone who's close to me, I put their life in danger. It can never happen again.
From a usually comedic relief character, it's a surprisingly earnest and genuine moment for his character. Even if I personally don't care about romance, I'd rate this episode a 7 out of 10. A standard good episode that pays off an important mystery at the start of the series. The focus on vampires really elevates this episode.